So, yeah, Google is kind of changing. This is just, I guess, their research side, right? And what they're seeing, what they can get AI to do. And they're taking a different course than most, which is why I thought it was pretty cool to highlight this. So, in, instead of, let me just give you the rundown because this gets kind of in depth, but it's pretty awesome. So, instead of taking all the random PDF, CSV, Excel file, whatever you've got, and putting it into a database to then run metrics on it, which is how most of the world operates today, Google is just saying, let's not wait for people or automated systems to try to enter this data in. Let's just use AI systems to get this data in a format that we can then run reports on, and the AIs will do that as well. So, yeah, interpreting various documents to perform complex data processing and statistical analysis is what DS Star from Google is attempting to do and has done apparently, and it's pretty awesome. So it says a major issue is their heavy reliance on well-structured data like CSV files and relational databases for large language models. So oftentimes we're like just dropping in raw data into these databases. Probably not good database management, but we are humans and doing what we can, and not everything is completely, up to par for what would help the AI. So instead of us, cleaning up all this data and trying to get it in a format for AI to better understand, it's actually just the AI is going to meet us where we're at and start, you know, deciding on the best format for the data itself, which is pretty awesome. So they've got uh, these little images here, and I thought these were fantastic through the research paper. I haven't looked at any other Google research papers, but I thought this was pretty awesome. So they've got your different data formats: JSON, XLX, PDF, CSV, even just text. And then it's basically going to write this solution code to then get your output back into a human format. After it kind of does some initial querying of this data and tries to get it in a format where it can run the code, and then help you with your charts or whatever visualizations that, I'm assuming like a board would need, or, C-suite level individuals. So here they give a little bit of a breakdown of the key innovations. So number one, a data file analysis module that automatically extracts context from varied data forms, including unstructured ones. Yeah, this is crazy. And number two, a verification stage where an LLM-based judge assesses the plan's sufficiency at each step. And number three, a sequential planning process that iteratively refines the initial plan based on feedback. So this is just what, like, anyone who's loading data into like a database would do. It's just now they're going to have a team of AI agents that are able to handle this, what seems simple to us sometimes, fairly complex task, because unstructured data is rather difficult, even for individuals. So for AI, it starts to get messy. So it says here, the DS Star framework operates in two main stages. First, it automatically examines all files in a directory and creates a textual summary of their structure and contents. So it kind of, makes sense of what it's looking at here, tries to get a good understanding. This is their agent analyzer. And then second, the DS Star engages in a primary loop of planning and implementing and verifying. So it's got these different agents, and they've got the image down here below. It's got this agent coder, agent verifier, agent router, and agent planner. Now, these are all different from the agent analyzer above, which does an initial look at the files and tries to, create a Python script to kind of versify based on what it thinks the contents is, and then it truly starts to, you know, give an actual schema to this stuff. You know, is the question that we were prompted with, that it's trying to give you the solution for. This agent verifier continually is asking the question, is the plan sufficient to solve the question? Sufficient or insufficient? If it's insufficient and it's running into errors or something, it's going to go down to the agent router and it's going to go, what should we do here? And the agent router, its only job is to go, hey, you know, let's add a step, let's change a step. So it's kind of like managing the whole process here as the verifier tells it, hey, it didn't answer the question. And so then it goes back to the planner, and the planner, I guess, looks at the previous steps that were taken and kind of reorganizes. So there's like 3 different managers kind of happening to ensure that it's answering the proper question, and the agent coder, you know, tries to execute the plan again. And that's its only goal. It's not worrying about, you know, is this sufficient to solve the user's question? How do we refine? You know, what are the next steps? No, they've separated this out into 4 different parts that function on a loop so that it can continuously iterate to try to finally get you a sufficient final solution. This is some awesome stuff that they're doing. And so down here, they've got some of the benchmarks, you know, and you can see that a lot of the stuff is pulling ahead, at least in this way. And I mean, obviously, if it's unstructured data, I don't know how these other systems are doing it, but it seems like DS-Star has definitely raised the bar. And, you know, I know some of these don't look that substantial, but I think this is pretty groundbreaking and awesome for what it's going to look like in the future to deal with unstructured data. It might change, you know, the whole realm of data engineering. Depends how expensive this kind of stuff is and things like that, but you know, this is pretty cool. So down here, they kind of do this breakdown of the 2 different parts. The data file analyzer, you know, this agent is essential for high performance. Without the descriptions, it generates DS-Star's accuracy on difficult tasks within the DAB step. Benchmark sharply dropped to 26%, as you can see down here on the hard level accuracy. So this is without the analyzer, that initial step that takes a first look at the files. Underscoring the importance of rich data context for effective planning and implementation. And then the router agent's ability to determine if a new step is needed or to fix an incorrect step is vital. When we removed it in variant 2 down here, DS-Star only added new steps sequentially, leading to worse performance on both easy and hard tasks. This demonstrates that it is more effective to correct mistakes in a plan than to keep adding potentially flawed steps. And so, yeah, when they put both of these together, it seems to be a force to be reckoned with, as it goes from 26 to 45% on these hard level accuracy percentages. And I mean, this is a 6% increase. It's substantial. Obviously, the analyzer is doing a lot of work here compared to the router doing that initial look. And so maybe the analyzer will get better. Maybe the analyzer, you know, will start to include more things like this, to like maybe have multiple analyzers. I don't know exactly how they could refine this, but it's already doing a major part to improve their accuracy here. So this is a really cool breakthrough from Google as far as some of the research and some of the advancements they're making towards unstructured data using AI. Pretty awesome.